Now, we all know the phrase, success is where preparation meets opportunity. Welcome to this episode of Financial Fridays. My name is Samantha Allen. I am the Senior Corporate Affairs and Communication Specialist here at the VM Group. So we want to explore tips that you can use to properly plan for your child or children's education so that you can set them up for success in life. Let's get started. Now, we all know that if you prepare properly, it can transform the realm of possibilities. Planning properly for your child's education will allow them to 1. Get the best schooling opportunities, 2. Explore their passions, and 3. To just succeed at academics without the added burden of the financial stress. So effective planning and proper saving is important when you're thinking about your child's education. At the end of the day, you want to ensure that you give them the opportunity to focus on their studies without thinking about the added pressure. And that is what you do when you actually plan and save properly for their educational needs. Now, the first step is to start saving early. It is never too early for your child to have an account or for you to open an account and to save for your child's education in that account. And you can also involve the child in saving for that account, one cook a full basket. So of course, you need to first of all be consistent in saving, and you need to ensure that you have a goal and that you try to meet that goal each month or each year or at whatever interval that you choose. Just ensure that you're consistent with saving so that when you get to that point where you need the money for your child's educational needs, the money is there and you can have it to use. So while you're saving, what you want to also do is to understand the costs associated with your child's education. Now, of course, the biggest cost is tuition. So what you could possibly do is to research the educational institutions that you want your child to attend, whether it's at the primary, at the secondary, or at the tertiary level. And you want to ensure that you have a bit of an idea of what the fees are like, of what the tuition cost is like, first of all. Now, you should also remember that tuition is not the only thing. So you will have other associated costs. When you think about tuition costs as well, you need to also remember that over time, these costs will increase. So you have to also factor that when you're doing your planning and your savings process. All right? Apart from tuition, there are other costs to consider. You have to factor in transportation. If the child or children will be living at home, you will have to factor lodging. If they're living on campus, you will have to think about food. You will have to think about books and other associated expenses. So you need to also remember that when you're factoring in and thinking about tuition costs, there are also these other added costs which will add up over time, and that can also put a burden in your pocket. So that's why you have to really plan from early. Now, while planning, you, the parent, are of course the most involved party, but remember too that a big part of it is involving your child in whatever planning is happening. So first of all, encourage them to also think about what it is that they want for their education. Encourage them to think about how they're going to save towards it, even if they're not the ones who are actively doing the saving, you're the one doing the saving. But of course, you can allow them to see how much you save every month. You can allow them to come and open the account with you. You can allow them to track the savings in that account. You can have them do additional savings for themselves, whether it is through a piggy bank or through something else, through some other method. But while you're saving as well, they're also saving, and you're encouraging them as you go along to not just save for their education, but this will also allow them to develop good saving habits. It will also help them to develop good budgeting habits, and it will just generally allow them to have good habits for their financial future. So while you think about the education of your child or children, it's also important to remember that while it is financial, there are also other aspects. And one of the things as well is, even as you think about the finances, remember that there's sometimes that you can get a little cushion. Maybe you can help them to explore opportunities for scholarships, opportunities for bursaries, opportunities for grants at the schools that they go to. And this can be whether private or public. And that will, of course, give you a little break, and you can use your money that you have saved to think about some of the other expenses that the scholarships, bursaries, or grants may not necessarily cover. Now, when you think about the scholarships, bursaries, and grants as well, remember that they will first of all need to ensure that their academic performance is up to a particular standard. So you will have to help them in terms of tracking the academic performance and ensuring that they don't fall below a certain grade level at all times, right? You need to also remember that sometimes these scholarships, grants, bursaries, and other financial assistance could come from their involvement in other extracurricular activities. So if you have a child or children that are so inclined, you can have them, pursue those interests that are not necessarily just academic, but extracurricular activities, football, netball, and so a lot of scholarship and grant opportunities can come from there as well. You need to also help them to remember that rest is important. So help them to manage their workload properly and to ensure that they put a little rest in it so that they can have the energy to do the things that they need to do, whether education-wise or leisure-wise, right? And remember, keep them motivated. We all want them to succeed, and we all want to ensure that they are proud of themselves and that we as parents are proud of them, but we need to remember that we should also motivate them. So just remember that you have to help them to improve their performance and to keep them motivated over their school life. So in this episode, we explored how to plan for your child's education. Remember, first of all, you need to start saving early. Secondly, you need to research and ensure that you understand all the costs associated, whether it's tuition, whether it's room and board, whether it's the books, all of that. Thirdly, you need to ensure that you include your child in the planning for that so that they will also learn financial tips that will help them throughout their life and not just throughout their school life. You need to explore the other opportunities that you can get financial assistance, whether it's scholarships, whether it's grants, whether it's bursaries, whatsoever. And you need to also ensure that you support your child through their educational development. And remember also that in addition to the financial aspects, you need to ensure that you help your child along their financial journey in such a way that they can become well-rounded, that they can also incorporate rest, that they feel motivated, and that they are empowered throughout their school journey, not just financially, but in every other way, so that you all can be proud. You can be proud of them as parents, and they can be proud of their performance as students. So stay tuned to Financial Fridays, where we explore tips to grow your wealth and to achieve financial well-being. To get started on your financial journey with VM or for more support, you can call us at 876-754-VMBS. That is 876-754-8627, or email manager@myvmgroup.com. It has been my pleasure to host this episode of Financial Fridays. Again, my name is Samantha Allen. I'm the Senior Corporate Affairs and Communications Specialist here at the VM Group. And if you want more information on what I do here, you can email me at samantha.allen@myvmgroup.com. This has been Financial Fridays. Take care.